Welcome to the Explainer. So, have you ever just stared at a blank page and felt completely paralyzed by all those supposed rules of writing? Well, today we are taking that rulebook and throwing it right out the window. We're opening up the Hobby Writer's Toolkit. We're going to transform writing from this strict, super intimidating science into a simple, incredibly fun game. And honestly, the best part, your everyday life is about to become your free source material. Here's a quick roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to start with the game of writing, then dive into plot, ask what if, move on to characters from real life, explore dialogue and settings, open up the introvert's toolbox, and then finally wrap things up with our conclusion. It's a completely digestible toolkit for anyone who's ever wanted to put pen to paper. So let's get into it.
All right, part one, the game of writing. You know, every single story, whether it's a tiny vignette or a massive 1,000-page novel, uses the exact same four ingredients: plot, character, dialogue, and setting. But there is a huge difference in how you can approach them. Traditional writing kind of treats these elements like a strict science, right? It burdens you with all these demanding rules and incredibly long checklists. But hobby writing, it treats writing as a simple game where you have total freedom. Nature is handing you free material every single day, which means your everyday life is literally the ultimate playground. Moving right along to part two, plot. Ask what if. Let's tackle our first element, plot. And just dispel a major myth right now. A plot is simply the chain of events in your story. Please do not let anyone convince you that you need complicated 3-act structures or a wall completely covered in sticky notes. The truth is, real life isn't always interesting on its own. Your normal Tuesday at work isn't automatically a compelling story. The real secret sauce is adding a twist. And that twist comes from one simple magic question. What if? You literally just take a real moment from your day and ask, what if something small changed? Think about how fast a completely ordinary observation becomes a captivating plot. Here's a real moment. You argued with your sibling about doing the dishes. Okay? Boring. Now add the twist. What if you argued about the dishes because one of you knew the house was about to catch fire? Or say you got stuck in traffic for an hour. The twist? What if you were stuck because the road ahead was slowly disappearing into thin air? Or my absolute favorite, a friend cancels plans via text. What if they canceled because they realized they were being followed? Boom, just like that, a mundane commute becomes a gripping, suspenseful story. Okay, let's look at part three, characters from real life. Here is a huge, game-changing secret for character creation. The people around you are already full-formed characters. You really don't need to invent people from scratch or fill out some 5-page character sheet detailing their deepest childhood trauma and favorite flavor of ice cream. Your neighbor who always waves but never actually smiles? Your coworker who somehow turns literally every conversation back to food? They are absolute gifts. They already have quirks and contradictions you could never invent. The author of our source material even talks about using his best friend as a character, lifting his exact voice and the specific weird way he pauses straight into the story. Now, we do need a quick ethics check here. While borrowing from real life is amazingly effective, some parts of real life are, private. If you're going to use a real person, especially if the character does something they might not want to be associated with, get their permission. The author's friend was actually super happy to be included and even suggested lines. But listen, if you can't ask or you just don't want to, you have to change the details. Change their name, change their job, their hair color, make them completely unrecognizable. Hobby writing should absolutely be fun for you, but it's got to be fair to the people around you. Protect your friendships, folks. That brings us to part four, dialogue and settings. Let's combine our final two ingredients, starting with dialogue. Honestly, you should never, ever worry about running out of dialogue because people literally never stop talking. If you just pay a little attention, you'll find that real conversation gives you quirks that traditional textbooks say shouldn't even exist. Real speech has a weird rhythm, the way people talk over each other or just trail off into nothing. It features super bizarre word choices. It's totally packed with emotional undertones, where what a person says is the exact opposite of what they actually mean. And it carries incredibly distinct regional voices. You just can't fake that from scratch. So here's a highly actionable exercise for you to try out to capture that feeling of real life. Step 1. For just one day, listen to the world around you with a writer's ear. Step 2. Note down 5 sentences you actually hear real people say out in the wild. Don't judge them, just capture them. Step 3, and this is absolutely crucial, when you hear a strong line that's funny or awkward or just sharp, write it down within 1 minute. If you wait any longer than that, you'll remember the general meaning, but you will lose the exact words. And those exact words are the secret sauce, that makes dialogue feel real.
Now let's shift over to setting, where and when your story is actually happening. You already know a ton of places in incredible detail: your local corner shop, the bus stop down the street, your own childhood bedroom. A fantastic method is to just go to a familiar place, act like a character, and write down 5 things a total stranger would notice. The smell of the air, the weird lighting, the background noise. Remember, one rusted door handle can carry way more atmosphere than a whole paragraph of forced, totally invented fantasy geography. Just describe a real place with a few honest, gritty details, and it will feel so incredibly vivid.
Let's pull back and look at how this all builds into the big picture by comparing the traditional versus the hobby approach. For plot, the traditional way uses heavy, stressful outlines. The hobby way just takes a real moment and asks, what if? For character, traditional demands these exhausting, detailed profiles. The hobby approach just borrows from the real people around you. For dialogue, traditional painstakingly crafts lines. Hobby simply steals from overheard conversations. And for setting, traditional builds complex maps. Hobby uses places you already know. Now, neither approach is inherently wrong, but hobby writing, it gives you the absolute freedom to just have fun and play. Which leads perfectly into part 5, the introvert's toolbox.
Now, I hear some of you out there. Going outside to observe strangers might sound completely exhausting. If you are an introvert, or honestly, if you just want to stay in your sweatpants, you are not stuck. There are incredible free online tools you can use. Need plot ideas? Hit up prompt generators or scroll through Reddit's r/writing prompts. Need character names or traits? Try fantasy name generators or jump into MBTI personality databases. Want to practice dialogue? Read movie scripts online, or better yet, turn on YouTube auto captions just to see how people naturally ramble. Need a setting? Drop the little yellow guy into Google Street View or browse Pinterest boards. You can literally mix and match one tool from each row here and build a completely vivid, rich story without stepping foot outside your front door.
And finally, part 6, our conclusion. The biggest takeaway I want you to have from this explainer is that you already have everything you need, right now. Whether you go outside to observe the bustling world or stay cozy inside and browse Pinterest, you already possess the raw materials to start writing today. Those rigid traditional rules, they're completely optional. Use them when they help you and cheerfully ignore them when they don't. So I'm going to leave you with this final empowering thought. Look around the room you're in right now. Seriously, look around. What if your story begins with the very next thing you see?